What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 86, and we start today's episode off by seeing that Borussia Mönchengladbach did accept a bid of £10 million for Borja Lopez. Now, of course, in the last episode I did mention that Borja Lopez was my main transfer target for this season, as I would like a long-term replacement for Albin Toza. He was going to be a perfect choice for us, so I was really hopeful Borussia Mönchengladbach wouldn't hold us to ransom and would accept a pretty decent offer, I felt. And £10 million for a guy valued at £6 million at 24 years old, already 78 overall. I'm confident we can get the guy into the 80s, probably low 80s at best, but still the 80s regardless. Yeah, I'm okay paying £10 million, even though right now it's £4 million over his valuation. So Borja Lopez looks like he's probably going to join the club, and I'm very pleased with that. We also had a second preseason friendly, and we also saw Raul Sousa Pena for Villarreal. I want to sign this guy as he does look like a really decent prospect for the future, but I don't think we'll be able to get hold of him. Also, do you know what? Pause the video if you want to read this email. Pedro Obiang is apparently a player that shows a lot of promise, but we're not playing him right now. I thought that was kind of funny. But also, the news article came in. We get this once a year, and apparently we're going to finish 10th according to the media, which I think is a little bit harsh, but we'll have to wait and see. Still, Borja Lopez, he does accept his contract, and back to serious business. Borja Lopez does accept his contract, and he is going to become our second major signing of the summer transfer window. So very pleased with that signing. So Morata came in for £9 million at the end of the last episode, and at the start of this episode we signed Borja Lopez for £10 million, and yeah, I'm really happy with both of those deals. Yes, Borja Lopez, £4 million more than his valuation right now, but we can afford to do that. We've got the budget to do that, and I think he's going to be the perfect replacement for Albin Toza, and yeah, I'm happy with that. He was the guy I wanted. I'd rather spend an extra £4 million on the player that I really want, as opposed to going cheaper and buying someone who might not be as good. We know how good Borja Lopez is. We can see he's already a 78 overall. We know he's going to be good enough in the future. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that, and I'm sure he will develop as well. We also beat Swansea in our third and final preseason friendly, which was very nice to see, with a last minute winner through Imeric, I think it was. Probably not, I can't remember now. But also Perez, Everton put in a transfer offer for the guy, and I just don't see the point in selling him, as Elise is also wanted by Espanyol, and of course we're going to say no because he is a very hot prospect. But Everton came back and said we'll give £12 million for Perez, and I said sorry Roberto, but I just don't want to sell the guy, because even though Perez is now more than likely going to be a backup striker, as Morata's came in, he scored quite a few goals last season in his debut season for us. I felt as though he's a pretty decent striker. I like the way I sort of play with him, if that makes sense. He's got really good agility and balance, and a good natural finisher of the ball as well. And I don't see the point in selling him. He's a good backup striker. He'll be a good backup striker for us. If Morata ever gets an injury or a suspension, I'm sure he'll come in and do the job fine. So there's no need to sell the guy. We're not in a financial crisis anymore, so there's no need to sell the guy. We'll keep him here, and I'm pretty pleased that we managed to basically shake off the interest of Everton without upsetting Perez. Still, we have a squad report here as we're about to enter the new season, so you can take a look at how the players are looking and how the squad looks as we go into the new season. To be honest, there's still a lot of work to do. No one's going to deny that, but I'm pretty pleased with what we've done so far in this summer transfer window. We've loaned out quite a few of our good young talents from the academy, and we've already strengthened the side first team wise. Moy Gomez came in on a free transfer. Pretty pleased with that signing. Thank you very much for you guys for signing him for me last season on a free contract. I like the look of Morata. I think £9 million for the guy is a steal, and I like the look of Borja Lopez, and I think £10 million for the guy is a fair deal. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. This is how the squad's going to line up for this season as well. Two of those three players are going to go straight into the first 11. That's Borja Lopez, who's going to play centre back alongside Carlos Blanco. Albin Toza will drop to the bench, and also Morata playing striker, and Perez dropping to the bench. Moy Gomez will be on the bench. He'll be the sort of player I bring on as an impact sub. The main reason is quite simple. Paco Candela has the potential to be special, and I want to maximise his playing time, so I think I'll keep him in the first team just for now, even though Moy Gomez is 7 ratings higher. But he'll still play a lot of games, don't worry. He'll still play loads of Champions League games and domestic cup games and midweek football and so on and so forth. And as for Albin Toza and Perez, don't worry, they'll still play a lot of games as well. But now Borja Lopez has come in, he was my main target, and I'm so pleased I got the guy, because I know he's going to have a really big future here at Racing Santander, and hopefully for Spain as well. we'll have to wait and see. Still, we take on Eibar for the first game of the new season here as they travel to take us on here at El Sardinero. And of course, the board this year want us to qualify for the Champions League again. Can we do that? Well, our squad is probably good enough for us to do that, but we do know there are going to be a lot of good teams around the 4th place position like there were last year too, even though we did actually finish in 3rd place last year. So it is going to be difficult for us to maintain Champions League football here at El Sardinero, but we want to get off to a fast start really, and we would be the favourites coming into this game against Eibar. We won ourselves a free kick here in the 14th minute as Jesse Rodriguez got taken down. Now, I actually thought this should have been a penalty, as I was pretty sure the contact was initiated on the line, as you can see there, but it wasn't given. Rodriguez definitely fell into the box, but I thought the contact was on the line. The referee said no, it probably wasn't a penalty. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I need to go to Specsavers. But even so, we did win a free kick here. Rodriguez stood up and took it, and the shot was well saved by the goalkeeper and turned behind for a corner, so we almost scored regardless. And we did force a corner out of it, if nothing else. And from the corner, Rodriguez crosses the ball in. And, well, I wouldn't have shut up about him over the past episode and the first few minutes of this episode. And the reason being is because I really do believe this guy's got a massive future. Borja Lopez scores 16 minutes even into his debut. And it's a really good header. And this is exactly why I've signed the guy. He is going to be such a threat from corners. 6'4", really, really good in the air. He's going to be an aerial monster for us to aim at from corners. And he diving headers the ball into the top corner and makes it Racing Santander 1, Eibar 0. So the perfect start to this game. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever players have debuts in my team, I always want them to do really well to show I've made a good signing right from the off. And for Borja Lopez, well, he scored a goal in his debut, couldn't ask for more. As for Morata, well, sadly for us, he ends up getting an injury, which is a real shame. As you would have seen there, he goes up for a header, gets taken down, he's got an injury, and he'll be out for 3 weeks. You'll see confirmation of that at the end of the episode, which is a real shame. So Morata does walk off the pitch. He does stay on the pitch for a bit, but he did get taken off early on in the second half. That's a bit of a shame, but there you go. Still, whilst Morata was off the pitch, we were temporarily down to 10 men, but it didn't really seem to stop us because we went up the other end of the pitch. The cross was put into the box by Paco Candela, and in the centre was Oliver Torres to turn it in and make it Racing Santander 2, Eibar 0. So Paco Candela's playing for a place in this Racing Santander team with the arrival of Moy Gomez, and that's a perfect way to show that you should still be a first 11 player. Wonderful cross by Paco Candela, drills it in the centre, and Oliver Torres could not miss. So Racing Santander 2, Eibar 0, and even with 10 men we were looking very, very good, and good value for our lead, to be honest, playing very well in the first half. But on the stroke of half time, directly from kickoff, Eibar did come forward here and had a good chance, but the shot went wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. Pretty poor miss in all honesty. It should have hit the target at least, but it was still 2-0. And 5 minutes after the restart, another good chance for Eibar here, so they certainly weren't out of the game as we failed to deal with a cross into the box. Eventually it's played back inside by Exaberia, is that how you pronounce that? And Angel's header goes onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick. So almost 2-1, almost Eibar getting themselves back into this game, but thankfully for us the attempt was off target and it was still 2-0 to Racing Santander. And from the goal kick, it's kicked long by Blanco, and Morata, still playing in this game despite the injury, flicks it on, and eventually it comes to Paco Candela. He finds Ranieri Aguza, who takes it around his man with a fake shot, then a ball roll, gives it towards Morata here, who was limping, but he shoots from range and ends up hitting the bar as well. So how about that? Morata playing at 50% really with the injury, almost making it 3-0 with a lovely goal from range, but sadly it was still 2-0, and that would be his last piece of action in the game as I took him off directly after that. So sadly for us, Morata does end the pitch with nothing on his debut other than the injury. In the 72nd minute again, Eibar went close, his header going just wide of the post, but it was still 2-0. And in the 76th minute, as we win the ball back here with young Hannah Lucy off the bench, he finds Pedro Obiang. Obiang takes it around his man, keeps hold of the ball, he's got a man out wide, it is young Hannah Lucy, but his shot hits the post and it goes behind for a goal kick. So still 2-0 in this game as a 16-year-old couldn't make it free, but it was how the game would finish, a 2-0 victory to Racing Santander, and we'll take that all day long. I felt as though we were the better team, even though Eibar did have a couple of good chances. I felt as though we were the better team for the majority. Could have scored 1 or 2 had my finishing been a bit better. We did hit the woodwork twice as well, so yeah, a 2-0 victory, deserved win in my opinion, and just the ideal way to start the season really. Very pleased with that. Of course, the sad news was Morata's injury, and as you'll see, he will be out for 3 weeks. It's not disastrous. We will have Perez coming in, and it's not a big injury on his debut, so we're not going to be too disheartened, even though it is still a little bit of a shame to see a player get injured on his debut. Still following out, we've been a transfer offer for Danny Carvajal. We've still got a little bit more money to work with here at Racing Santander. Not too sure we'll be able to pull this deal off, as we can't afford what he's valued at right now, but he is out of contract at the end of the year, so you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But failing that, we'll look at getting Diaz Miguel back. He may not be anywhere near as good as Carvajal right now, but maybe in the future he could be. So we'll have to wait and see what Sevilla say as we put in a new bid for the right back. And we'll just have to wait and see what Sevilla say. Again, I don't know how good he's going to be in the future. He doesn't look too bad right now, but he's got a lot of growing to do. Let's just say that. But we'll have to wait and see. And the last bid was for this centre back here, who looks pretty decent, probably just as a cover player for the future. But again, we put in a bid, and we'll have to wait and see. But that is going to end the episode. So as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Club and Country, then please do leave a like. And the last thing you'll see is the transfer for Concha. He's going to go out on loan, on a short-term loan. But please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.